Namaskar Bundara, hello friends, and welcome back or welcome to my channel. So I was at the store the other day and I ran across some yeast. Now I haven't found yeast in a very long time, and lately I've been really craving whole wheat bread or bread in general, and I've not been buying it at the store, and I thought, you know what, I would love to learn to make whole wheat homemade bread. So that's exactly what I'm going to do today in this video. So I've actually never made homemade bread before, so I'm a little nervous because I've tried using yeast here in India before, but it either didn't rise or it did something wrong. Maybe the yeast was old. I have no idea. So I hope this works. I just opened the packet. I've been looking on YouTube for some ideas, and oh my gosh, there's just so many different recipes out there and people do it so differently. Now I found this one where they don't take so long for the dough to rise, and it seems pretty simple. And so I've also looked at videos in India of people making bread because I feel the yeast here might be a little different. I don't know. So I'm gonna combine a couple of ideas from two different videos to make this bread. So hopefully, fingers crossed, it works out. But you're gonna see it with me, guys. We're gonna see how this goes. So hopefully it's a success, and then I can have some homemade whole wheat healthy bread for the weekend. So let's go ahead, guys, and get started. So I have all my ingredients here. So most of the recipes that I saw in like the US, they just went ahead and mixed everything together. But in India, I saw that with the yeast, they let it sit for a little bit in warm milk. So that's what I'm gonna try here first. So we're gonna take 1 cup of warm milk. I just heated it up in the microwave. We're gonna take 2 tablespoons of sugar. Now I have powdered sugar here. And then we're gonna take 2 teaspoons or 7 grams of active yeast. And then we're just gonna mix that. And in the video or online, it said it took about 3 minutes for the yeast to activate. So I'm hoping, this is active yeast. And like I said, most of the other videos that combined everything together didn't do this step. They just mixed it with the flour first. So this way I just want to really make sure, I'm doing this because I really want to make sure that the yeast does get activated. Even though it does say it's active, I just want to cover my bases here, guys. So I'm just mixing this. And then I'm just gonna let it sit for a couple of minutes. And this is the yeast that I'm using. This is what I found at the store. It does say active dry yeast. So if this works out, then we know. And the reason why I'm doing this too, because on the directions in the back when preparing it, it does say to allow the mixture to stand for a little bit before adding the salt and flour. So that's what I'm gonna do, guys. So I'm just gonna wait a couple of minutes, let this activate, and we'll start adding the rest of the ingredients together. All right, so while we're letting that set, we're gonna go ahead and combine the dry ingredients. So here I have 2 cups of whole wheat flour. Then we want 1/2 cup of white flour or maida. Now I heard that you don't wanna use full whole wheat because then it makes it super doughy and thick, and we don't want that. 1 teaspoon of salt. And then we're just gonna just mix this around to combine it. I'm just using a whisk. Now, if you have actual blender, hand blender, then you could use that, but you don't need it, I heard. You just have to knead the dough a little bit longer later in the process. Okay, so I just combined all those. Now it's been about 3 to 4 minutes already. So I'm gonna go ahead and add this into the milk. Okay. I'm gonna add 1 egg, room temperature egg. Now, some other recipes don't use egg. And 2 teaspoons or 2 tablespoons of oil. And then we're just gonna combine that really well, okay? All right, so I changed to my hand. So I'm already getting a little concerned because hers seemed to be a little more liquidy, and this is not liquidy. So she ended up adding like more flour, but I'm not going to. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna go ahead and take some flour and not a lot, they say, just a little bit to surface it. And this is where we're gonna knead the dough. So we're kneading it for about, so she said about 150 kneads if you're using your hand. So this is like 1 knead, 2 knead, 3 knead. So about 5 to 10 minutes, I would say. So I'm gonna go ahead and knead this. All right, guys, so I think it's looking right. It feels a little softer now that I've kneaded it longer. So now what she says after kneading it, she says you can just leave it here on the countertop and cover it. But then another one said you can take the bowl, add just a smidgen of oil, because they say when you have the dough rise, you know, if you put the oil on the sides of the bowl, then it helps it to rise easier. Okay, so that's what I'm gonna do. Now, this one video I was watching only let it sit for 10 minutes, but others are saying do it for an hour. Do it for like an hour and a half. So I'm gonna see. I'm just gonna let it sit for 10 minutes right now, and then we'll come back. If it hasn't really risen, then I'll probably do it longer. So keep that in mind. This, like I said, the one I'm following says 10 minutes, but a couple other ones say 90 minutes. So let's just see in 10 minutes what it looks like. I think I'm just gonna do the 10 minutes to see if that actually works, because if we can cut down our waiting time, that's even better. So let's check this out. I feel like it's risen a little bit, so let's go ahead and put it out here. So they said if you want to use as little flour as you can, but basically all we're gonna do is just kind of push it out. I just hope mine isn't too thick so that it my concern is the being too dense, but we'll see how it goes. Hers seemed a little softer than mine, but that's okay, we'll figure it out. All right, so this is what she showed, and then it looks like all she did was roll it up like this, okay? And then we just kind of push in the sides, so keep the bottom part on the bottom, just like so. Now I have this is the only bread pan I have. I did put a little bit of grease in it, even though it is non-stick. They say that, you know, she didn't use any oil, but other people did. So, you know, I'm just want to be extra careful so it comes out really easily. Then we're just gonna stick it in there. Wow, that's like perfect size. And now she says to keep it covered again, and then keep it in a warm spot for about 35 minutes. So all I did was I heated up my microwave for a few minutes, and it's kind of warm in there. So I'm gonna place this in my warm microwave for about half an hour, 35 minutes. She says you want it to poof up about 1 inch from the top. So I'm just gonna keep my eye on it, because my bread bowl, I think pan is a little smaller than hers, but hopefully it poofs up. If it does, we will be good. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that in there for about 35 minutes. All right, guys, so I'm not gonna lie. I checked it after half an hour, and I didn't feel like it was raised high enough, so I waited a whole hour. And this is what it's looking like. That actually looks really good. It looks about a 1 inch from the top. She said not to do it too much longer than that, because like too much higher than that, because then when it cooks, it's gonna rise more too. So that looks actually pretty good, but instead of 30 minutes, I did about 60 minutes. So now I'm heating up the microwave for 180 degrees Celsius, and I'm gonna cook this or bake this for 30 minutes. So let's go ahead and get this in the oven. So it's suggested that halfway through the baking process, so about 15 minutes, because the dough or the bread can get brown pretty quickly on top, to take some aluminum foil Now the goal here is to quickly put it on top. So we're not actually gonna take the bread out and put this on. We're gonna open it quickly and throw this on top. So they say to just take the aluminum foil and squeeze it around like this. We're gonna do the dough side towards the bread, and then we're just gonna shape it kind of like in a dome. Because I'm just gonna pop it over the top just so it doesn't brown too much or burn on the top. And that's it, and then I'm just gonna throw it over the top. Oh my gosh, guys. Wow. That looks so nice. I think that's what it's supposed to look like. So they say to let it cool down, but we're gonna see if we can pull it out now. It looks pretty awesome. It smells amazing. Yes! Wow, guys, look at that amazing piece of bread. Now it looks amazing. We just have to see now if it tastes amazing. Oh, and I'm gonna put some butter. I really hope. It looks good. Let's see, I'll cut another little piece. Get in the middle. It is still pretty hot. And it looks pretty nice and soft, but we'll have to, let's try it. I'm gonna put a little bit, no, don't mind the mess. A little bit of butter. Okay, let's try it. I am so excited. I've waited too long to try this. It's missing something. Hold on. Let's try some honey. That actually is not bad. Like for my first time, it's not dense like I thought it was going to be. It's actually nice and soft. So now let's try it with a little bit of honey. That is actually pretty delicious, guys. Holy moly. Hey, for my first time making homemade bread at that whole wheat bread, I think I did a really good job. This will be great when I make sandwiches or toast it in the morning with a little bit of butter and honey snack like now. Wow, guys. Super simple, super easy recipe. You don't have to let it rise too long. Like I said, the first time it was just like 10 minutes and the second time it was about an hour, but just check your dough and see. Maybe I need to add a little more water because some recipes I saw they added some water into the dough to make it a little liquid, more wet, basically, not as dry as mine was. So I don't know, maybe that could have helped it rise a little more too, but I think overall it was really successful and a lot of fun to make, and I can't wait until my husband tries this because he does like to eat toast in the morning for breakfast sometimes. So tomorrow's Saturday, so this will be perfect for breakfast, maybe some toast and eggs. Yes. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy. No more buying those store-bought breads anymore. I'm gonna make my own because it's healthier and it's a lot of fun. You know, it's definitely worth it in the end to try it. So yay, I'm so happy. Now that I know this yeast works, maybe the next adventure will be making pizza dough. Who knows? I'm excited to see what I can come up with and what I can make with this yeast now. So stay tuned for other fun videos coming, but that'll do it for today's video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, then please give me a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button because it really helps to support my channel. And I hope to see you guys in my next video. Bye.